Hi, Melissa Bill, and welcome to the Business Roundup, where we catch up with the movers and shakers in the business world. Today, joining me is Chan Yerneni. He is the founder of EssayGrader.ai. They're a leading AI-powered grading platform to teachers across the U.S., UK, Australia, and Canada. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you for having me here today.
Well, AI is definitely making its impact in so many different areas. And, we were talking a little bit before, some people have, some worries, but in a lot of ways, it's really just helping in the medical field and, important research that, making advancements that we could not have gotten to if it was not without AI. And I think, and now we're going to talk a little bit about education too. So, as we start off, do you want to give us a little bit of background on yourself and
Yeah,
the company?
yeah, absolutely. So my name is Chan Yerneni, as you said, and I started STAAR about 18 months ago. But before that, let's quickly go back to what made me get inspired and become an entrepreneur. I come from a family of teachers who are also entrepreneurs. So both my parents were teachers, and they started their own private school in India, and that grew to multiple locations. And my grandparents on both sides were teachers. So uh, pretty much I was always I was surrounded by teachers and teacher entrepreneurs. So me starting and growing as a grader almost feels natural and carrying that legacy forward of being an entrepreneur, but also doing something in the education field. And yeah, with over 100,000 registered teachers on the platform, we are one of the largest AI grading platforms in the US right now.
And that was in a short period of time. That's 18 months, correct?
That's right. Yeah, that's 18 months.
That's amazing. And I know, now what are some of the ways that SA Grader AI supports teachers in schools in these
Yeah,
places?
absolutely. We have, like I said before, about 800,000 registered teachers, and I would say about 60 to 70% of those teachers are in the US, where the class sizes are large. There's a lot of disparities within schools, depending on the location of those school districts, the funding they get. So a lot of these teachers deal with burnout. Teachers have to grade essays or any submissions for 160 people sometimes in a semester, and they have to do it like 5 or 6 times. And each submission takes about 10 to 15 minutes to grade. You can do the math, it quickly adds up to thousands of hours. So that's where Essay Grader steps in, and we allow teachers to grade essays for an entire class in less than 5 minutes. Actually, if you go to our website, I think it says like grade an entire class essays in 2 minutes or less. So you can choose, you can connect to leading learning management systems. Most schools use either Google Classroom, Canvas, or Schoology, and we integrate with all those platforms natively. Teachers can connect to their learning manage essay grader to their learning management system, import all the essays, and let essay grader grade all of them. We give a detailed feedback report, writing report. We check for AI detection. We check for plagiarism in the essay. And ultimately, we give a grade to that student. And at the end of the day, teacher is in full control of this. Teacher can go edit the feedback report. Teacher can change anything within the report themselves. And ultimately, once the teacher is happy with it, they just export the grades and the essays back to the student's account. We have teachers that came to us crying, saying that this was the best invention they have seen in educational technology in a long time. Most of our growth actually was organic. Teachers would tell other teachers in their schools about the product, and that's how we expanded. We did not spend any money on marketing for the first year. We are slowly, as we are as a company, we are growing. Now we are exploring different avenues to put our name out there, let people know, more and more teachers know that there is a tool like this that exists. So a lot of really cool things happen. School boards saw us. A lot of their school boards saw that their teachers were using this platform, and they would reach out to us buying packages for the entire school. So we work with hundreds of school districts right now across U.S., mostly in the U.S. um, and um, they use our product in their school. Sorry,
That's
again,
amazing.
long roundabout answer, but hopefully I covered a lot of things there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I know you were saying school districts, despite like in Texas. What other states right now? Just to name a few. Quite a
Yeah,
few.
yeah, we have actually we have users in all 50 states in the US, and we serve school districts in almost 25 states, I believe. Yeah.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we were talking about with AI, another thing when it comes to this type of, you get large amounts of data and stuff like that. Privacy is something that's very important. And you were talking about that, what extra steps you go, to.
Absolutely. Yeah, privacy is built at the core of EssayGrader. We value student information, we value teacher information, we value their privacy. That's like the number one, that's our number one goal, is to make sure that all the information that comes into the platform is highly secure. We are FERPA compliant. We are COPA compliant, and yeah, like I think this is extremely important for AI companies. You see AI companies popping up everywhere now, and even teachers or school districts, or even other verticals like healthcare. People have to always make sure that the companies that they are working with have good privacy practices, have good privacy policies in place. Yeah, that's what I would say about that.
Keep it important. And now also, what are ways you actively support the Texas Education Agency's STAAR readiness standards?
Yeah, absolutely. We fully support STAR standards. In fact, not just STAR. We support every state standard that exists in the U.S., like Texas STAR, Florida BEST, Pennsylvania standards, and Common Core State Standards (CCSS). Every standard that's available out there is also it comes with certain rubrics for grading, and we have hundreds of rubrics compiled in our platform. So teachers from all these different states can come in, just select the rubric that they want to grade with, and then they can grade. If teacher wants to set up a custom rubric on how they want to grade these assignments, they can do that as well. So it's a highly flexible platform, especially, you mentioned Texas. So let's go back to Texas. We have so many school districts that we work with. I think we have like we have a few thousand teachers in Texas, actually, just in Texas, using the product, and they grade hundreds of thousands of assignments every year in Texas, and people love it. People, really love our product. Even if you go through our testimonials, you will see that a lot of those teachers that write testimonials about us, they're actually from Texas. Texas also has a very forward thinking AI policy. The school districts and schools get funding for AI products. So that's also another reason why we are expanding so quickly in Texas.
That's amazing. Yeah, I know they're definitely leading as far as just, being more open to adding this kind of transformation and helping with, the teachers, because teachers right now, they are, like you mentioned, they're overloaded. And it's just really helping to kind of streamline their work so they can get back to teaching and being present with the students. And now with the AI, sector, what are some other ways you see it transforming the way teachers approach grading and feedback? What are some other advancements you see kind of coming down?
Yeah, so I think AI is just transforming teachers' workflows, right? A lot of the physical workflows that teachers had, collect the assignments, grade them by hand, give them to the student. A lot of this AI is really optimizing these workflows for a teacher, and I'm so grateful. Teachers are the life and blood of any society, just as much as like doctors. And finally grateful that companies like EssayGrader are taking the time to improve people's lives, right? Teachers, as we all know, teachers are also severely underpaid in the US, and they should get every support they can. And we see AI tools propping up for content creation, like slides creation for teachers, for assignment creation, quiz creation. There's a lot of tools out there right now that can simplify a lot of these other workflows for teachers, where otherwise they would have to spend hours and hours of time building all of this by hand. And all of this is to say that teachers, at the end of the day, they are the ones that will ultimately verify everything before approving, before finalizing course material. Teachers, they they are part of this loop, and any AI tool that is being built out there, they should make sure that teachers are ultimately the ones that's finalizing either the grades, the assignment material, the quizzes, and not leave everything to AI, because we are still at an age where AI is not 100% accurate, and teachers should be part of these workflows. And ultimately, it's the teacher that makes these decisions, the final decisions.
And now with how are some of the other ways Easy Grade, Essay Grader AI is building a fast growing multi-billion dollar business? Because this is like a model. Like, what do you see? How is this going to grow in the future? What are your goals?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started off just grading English assignments, history assignments, language assignments, right? As AI models are becoming more mature, AI models are becoming better. Our growth, we are also now looking at STEM, like science, technology, engineering, math, to see what we could do. How do we optimize flows for not just language teachers, but also the non-language teachers, right? So we are looking at a whole spectrum of STEM workflows to see what the teachers, what their pain points are, and they are definitely different than what we have for language teachers, right? Language teachers have to go through assignments, go through there's a lot of subjectivity in these language assignments, whereas in technology, math, it's less subjective and it's very straightforward. But they have their own teachers and instructors in STEM have their own set of issues. How do we take those core pain points and then simplify those pain points with the help of AI? And that will be our next step. Once we have still a lot of things that we want to improve within EssayGrader, and once we are there, our next focus will be on STEM education and is simplifying teachers' lives in STEM.
In other areas. And then I know we were talking too, you can grade or intake the information or grade in a different language, correct? If you
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. So teachers can upload essays in one language and generate feedback in a different language. So for 90% of the use cases, this is not relevant, right? So, but there are teachers, especially in the US, where there's, especially in states like California, where there's where Spanish is heavily used. Teachers need to upload assignments in English, but generate feedback in Spanish, because Spanish is like the language, but the students that recently immigrated to US are most familiar with, and or they have to upload their assignments in Spanish and then generate feedback in beginners English. So we allow that as well. You can upload in assignments in one language and get feedback in and output in a different language, and teachers love that. There are a lot of teachers that teach Spanish in the U.S. That alternate between English and Spanish input output language, and we make it super easy for those teachers.
right, it'd be like for like when I took Spanish, I was definitely not like a great at it, so I could get my comments back on what I how I did in my
Exactly.
presentation or on my paper.
Exactly. Exactly. And you can get them back in English. You can teachers can choose at what level. And one of the other things that I didn't mention earlier was teachers can completely customize this feedback, right? Teachers, when you're uploading the assignments, you can choose at what class level, right? Like elementary, middle school, high school, college. Teachers can choose those options. Teachers can choose how much feedback that they would like to give the student: beginner level feedback, intermediate feedback, or advanced feedback based on the student capabilities. There are so many ways you can optimize and customize the feedback for your students on the platform. So we give teachers so many ways to optimize their workflow, so they don't have to write the same feedback over and over again. For example, one of the common complaints teachers had in the beginning when we started EssayGrader was, I have to give the same feedback to in a class of 40 students. More often than not, I am writing the same feedback 15 times, or typing it up 15 times. You don't have to do that with EssayGrader anymore, right? You only have to do that. EssayGrader will do everything, and all you have to do is just review that feedback before sending it to the student.
That makes it easier, definitely, for the teachers. And now, if people wanted to, like, is this national? Like, I guess, well, anywhere, basically, you're saying. So, how would they get more information, and what would teachers or districts, school districts, do to kind of get involved and try to learn more about the company?
Like I said, most of our growth came from teachers just recommending this to other teachers. And we rank number one on Google for a lot of the key search terms, and that's another popular way teachers find it. If you search for AI essay grader or essay grader, how do I grade my essays, and we are the first ones to pop up, and that's another way to get a lot of traffic, not just in the US, UK, Australia, and Canada. Even though that's where majority of our user base is, we also interestingly have users in almost 50 countries. And when we look at the stats on why teachers from China or teachers from Korea or Saudi Arabia, like these countries where you wouldn't really think of teachers using a product like EssayGrader, when we peel back, we realize that there are a lot of international schools in these different countries, and these teachers in these international schools, they need a good way to give feedback back to the student, and they use our product. And in fact, we are working with a couple of universities in Japan right now that want to implement EssayGrader for their entire sophomore classes in the university, to be used by the teachers teaching those classes.
Yeah, that's amazing. So it's kind of making a worldwide impact.
Absolutely. Anywhere there is English, I think EssayGrader will become relevant. And there's another interesting thing. We didn't think about it. A lot of our innovation comes really from our user base. We always graded everything in US English. And then teachers from UK reached out and said, I need to grade in UK English standards. And then people said Australian English standards. So now we created all these different English standards as well within the platform.
Yeah, that is true, because I had to write an article that was in like UK, like their style, and it's different. Some words are spelled different. So
That's right. Yes. Yes.
so if people wanted more information, just go to your website. Would they be able to find all the information there?
Absolutely. Just go to our website, EssayGrader.ai, and you will find all the information there. You can create a free account. You can test out the product. We have free plans. You can actually use the free plan. It's a substantial free plan. Yeah, you can start grading.
Get your
And
feet wet and see how it goes.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to join us today. I want to check it out just to see. I think it would be very interesting because I do some homeschooling with my daughters. It would just be, I guess I would be kind of like a teacher's assistant, I guess, in a way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
Okay. Thank you so much, Melissa.
Thank you for joining the Business Roundup, where we always try to bring you interviews with some of the leading people in business, whether it be technology, finance, or energy. I hope you tune in. I hope you subscribe and listen, and we'll give you updates for new interviews that are coming up. Until next time, I'm Melissa Bill.